Hello. So this is Desmond17. Also go by the username as well, Aaron Value. If you ever meet me in Bushy Road events, whether it's the BCS or the Summerfest, which used to be the Springfest, I go by Aaron Value. So welcome to my first recording of the deck profile for pretty much my favorite deck for pretty a long while, for the last like 2 years. Um, so this is a deck profile of six choice, two door Chainsaw Man. So I've been pretty much been playing this since release date of Chainsaw Man back in 2024. I've also dived into the Aki deck as well. And I mean, between those two decks, this is definitely my favorite deck between those two. And this deck is without a doubt pretty much my best deck that I have currently at this time. So, um, so we'll pretty much get right to it. So the first card we're looking at right now is four copies of the Living Like a Dream Denji. So pretty much this is a when you play it from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card ends up being the first indirect kiss, which is an event card. It's basically a lollipop. So if you reveal that card or a devil hunter or devil character, you take that card and put it underneath the Denji as a marker, and then he gets 2,000 power with having that marker underneath him. And then beginning of the opponent's attack phase, you may move him to a open position on the center stage with a character facing him. So he's a very good oversized card to have and be able to sit starting first turn or just during while you're at level 0. And he really he's very good at keeping board during the pretty much the beginning half of the game. So and then in addition, later on, I'll also explain another key component of what makes this card really good is not only being an oversized and be able to plus you on board, but also as well as plussing you on trigger when you have the 1/1 Aki assist once you get to level 1. So we'll get to that later on when we get to level 1s. So yeah, so this is basically a 4 of. So next 4 of, that's definitely not only just an important staple, but practically mandatory, specifically with this deck, is 4 copies of First Taste Makima. She is pay 1, put a Devil Hunter or Devil character in your waiting room to the bottom of your clock. That you pay that cost when you play her from your hand, and then when you pay the cost, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. So she's basically your searcher, so you're gonna maximize on her. So you definitely want to have her when obviously when you need her because since she's your searcher, you're gonna want to make sure you always have her at all times. Um, and then she has an alarm effect. Alarm effect is when she is on top of your clock at the beginning of the clock phase your clock phase. So choose one of your Devil Hunter or Devil characters, and that character gets the following ability. And that ability is when that card attacks, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and then rearrange them in any order and put them back. So that effect is very important for the Makima early play, the level 3. We will get to that, which that card, basically that alarm effect helps you guarantee that you will land Makima's climax combo when you early play her at level 2. So we will get to that later on. So yeah, this card, when you're playing the Makima early play, you want to obviously this is practically mandatory for because you want to make sure you maximize not only being a Ricky search, which is always a very vital staple for pretty much almost any deck, but it's also very, very important for Makima to be able to consistently land her climax combo when you do it. So moving on, we have 1 copy of the leader of Special Division 4, Makima. This is basically it's a climax swapper, but it does it in a different way than the normal traditional climax swap. This is a automatic pay 1 when you play her from your hand. Search your deck for 1 climax, reveal to your opponent. then add it to your hand, and then choose a climax from your hand, and then reveal to your opponent, and then put that climax that you just revealed, and then shuffle it back into your deck. So you're basically going to be searching the climax that you need at that time, whether it's the power combo, the power climax combo, or the Chainsaw Man climax for your Chainsaw Man finisher. So you basically play her to be able to swap out a climax that you need in your deck, and then basically return whatever climax you had in hand that you don't need at that time. So then we got 2 copies of the Devil Hunter Power. She is a stock bomb level 0, so when she gets reversed in battle, if the character she was facing is a level 0 or lower, you can send that character to the top of your opponent's stock, and then the bottom card of their stock goes to their waiting room. So this card is really good at removing cards like Aqua from Hololive, that cards that like plus you when you pay 1. Um, Put any character like at the bottom of the clock, and then reveal 2, and then add up to 2 characters. So cards like that give you plussing, you know, plussing, and as well as like cards like that like need to go to memory, things like that. So this card allows you to remove those types of cards and be able to put your opponent in a very awkward situation if they need specific level zeros to go to waiting room or memory. And then in addition to that, she also has the ability of when she goes to waiting room from your stage, you can pay 1, put a Devil Hunter or Devil character in your waiting room to the bottom of your clock, and then if you do, uh, choose any Devil or Devil Hunter character in your waiting room and add it back to your hand. So when she goes to waiting room, when you activate this effect, you can also choose to just put herself into clock, bottom of clock, because of the fact that she is in waiting room when she activates this ability. So what makes her also really good is the fact that she can guarantee ensure that if you need to have yellow to play the level 1 power, she basically will guarantee to make sure that you will always have yellow no matter what when you activate her. So next, we have 3 copies of the Always Together Pochita. So this is your Brainstormer. So he is a Brainstorm 4. For each climax that's revealed among those 4, choose a character in your waiting room, add it to your hand. And then his first effect is you can pay 1, discard the start of the battle Denji. It's this level 1 here, specifically this card here. You discard this, and then when you pay that cost, to do this effect, you have to be level 3 or higher. So when you pay that cost at level 3, you choose a character in your waiting room, any character, add it to your hand, choose a character with Chainsaw Man in its name, put it in the position that this Pochita is in, and then you can choose, it's optional, you can either choose to take the Pochita, either put it face up underneath the Chainsaw Man as a marker, or you can just leave the Pochita in waiting room. So that's just more so the marker doesn't really do anything. It's just more so for flavor to have the Pochita under the Chainsaw Man. So like if you're a huge fan of Chainsaw Man, if you've seen the series, like you'll understand the purpose of the marker flavor essentially. So but yeah, this effect is really important because that first effect essentially makes it that this Pochita can become any Chainsaw Man. So it can become your main finisher. It can become the trial deck finisher from the trial deck off finisher, and it can be any Chainsaw Man. It can be any, especially there's like a bunch of Chainsaw Man off finishers in the booster set um, that you can also gain access to because of this card. So any Chainsaw Man that you might need in the situation once you hit level 3, this basically acts as this Pochita acts as another Chainsaw Man. So this acts as an extender, and it's really important to be able to push your end board when you need to. So very important card needed for the end board. All right, and the next is 1 copy of Slice of Everyday Life Aki. This is a climax swapper, but instead of the traditional normal pay 1 discard a climax, this is actually going to be a when you play him from your hand, you discard a climax, choose one of your other characters on stage, and send it to waiting room. And then when you do get back any climax from your waiting room, and put it to your hand. Next, we have Devil Hunter Kishibe. When you play him from your hand, he gets two auto abilities. The first ability is when you play him, you can choose to mill 3 cards from your deck to your waiting room. And then second ability is you can, on a play from hand, discard a climax to salvage any one of Devil Hunter or Devil character in your waiting room and add it back to your hand. So this card is really important for deck speed, for the first effect, and as well as one aspect of the first effect being very good also is that it also can help you set up the Makima early play. Because one thing I like to do with this card a lot sometimes is to ensure that I can try to get the Makima combo set up. If I end up, let's say, having this hidden strength climax, that's what works off of this Makima. So if I end up having this in my hand with the Kishibe, I'll end up basically playing him for my hand, mill 3. If I end up milling out this Makima from the 3 cards of my top of my deck, then ditching this ends up getting back this card, and then I'll be able to guarantee set up the Makima combo once I end up playing her. So very good card overall. This just helps not only with deck speed from the first effect and also setting up the Makima, but it's also just helpful of also filtering out, like if you end up drawing, let's say, too many climaxes very early, you can end up playing him, discard, get rid of some climaxes out of your hand, and get back another character you might need at that in that time. So really good card overall. And then last level 0 that I play, 2 copies of Devil Hunter Kobeni. She's pretty much just on play from your hand, discard any card from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. Choose a level X, choose one level X or lower character from your waiting room, add it back to your hand. X is equal to the level of the revealed card from the top of your deck. So this helps you filter out anything that you don't need, especially climaxes, get back cards that you need at the moment. So this is similar, almost like similar to Kishibe, just getting back cards, getting back characters that you need specifically at the moment. Just a lot of sets have this type of profile, so like just it's always good to have this type of card to be able to get back characters you need, and as well as be able to have a good filter to get rid of cards that just aren't needed at that moment. So that is it for the level 0s. All right, so we're gonna move on with level 1s. I play 2 copies of Start of the Battle Denji. This is the card that I play for the Pochita to be able to use his first effect. So his first effect is during your turn only, this card gets 4,000 power and he cannot side attack. And then his second effect is during his battle, when the damage you receive is canceled, you can put him into your waiting room, and if you do, you can take the top card of your deck into your stock. So second effect is pretty useful in some situations. Sometimes if you might need the extra stock for any type of effect, whether it's a brainstorm, being able to play like a level 3, or even let's say like being able to play the Makima. So that second effect can sometimes come in handy if you need that one extra stock from time to time. And not only that, also too, and then during your turn, he's also a huge beat stick. So if you just need a guy to play to beat over something, he just gets the job done. So overall, really nice card to have. All right, next is one of the key cards in the deck is Blood Fiend Power. So she is going to be your level 1 climax combo. So her climax combo is when she attacks, if the Fiend's everyday life is in your climax area, if you have 2 or more other Devil Hunter or Devil or Animal characters, you look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose any pretty much up to 1 character from those 4, reveal it to your opponent, add it to your hand, and then dump the rest into waiting room. In addition to that, if she's facing a level 2, she gets plus 6,000 power until end of turn. So she's really good so her combo is really good for deck speed, being able to reach to your first deck refresh as fast as you can once you get to level 1. Be able to refresh your hand once you play your power combo, once you establish your board, whether you're playing double power or triple power during your level 1 turn. and she gets really huge. It's really nice being able to have a Maguro 4 in addition to a level 2 killer. So this card is really good against standby decks or decks that just like to early play level 2, so you can just get rid of them right away very easily. Because this card is really good at maintaining board, which is very uncommon with level 1s. Because a lot of level 1s nowadays just kind of just lose on defense immediately. They usually get big on the player's turn during your turn, but then during the opponent's turn, they usually are only going to be sitting at like 4 to 5K, and they're going to get beaten by something very easily during the opponent's turn. But this card will usually set at up to 7K with the Aki assist. So it's really nice being able to set on this card and be able to have this on defense and just being able to sit this cross turn and hold on to this card as long as you can during a level 1 as well as level 2. So next is the Aki assist. So this card is a little bit pivotal to the deck because of the fact that this card, while it's on the field, it's a level assist to Devil Hunter or Devil characters in front of him. And when you play a choice climax, choose one of your characters. That character gets 1,000 power and the ability to pay 1 twin drive, which is when you attack, you pay 1. And during that attack, you're going to trigger check 2 times instead of once. And the key thing that makes this card important is the first effect, because when you play a choice climax, so that's going to be between playing the power combo and as well as the Chainsaw Man combo. When you play that choice climax, that this card makes it that the level 0 Denji, this in all your zones, while this is in your deck, this gains choice trigger. So while you're doing your climax combos, and ideally, like if you're able to do the power combo in multiple turns, um, you definitely want to take advantage of the twin drive. So that way you'll be able to increase your chances of triggering the Denji. So that way he becomes choice trigger. So now you got pretty much up to 4 extra copies of choice to be able to build up more stock or be able to replenish your hand with any character with the soul trigger. So you're able to get back Chainsaw Man, you get back Makima, you get back the Aki counter, the Kobeni counter, which I'm about to get to soon, and just overall, it gets you back any character with a soul trigger that you need at that moment, and be able to replenish stock or hand. So this card really helps out a lot and can make a world of a difference between being able to build up more hand or build up more stock, depending on what you need at the game state at that time. So next up, the Kobeni counter that I mentioned earlier. So this is just a 2K counter. When you use this backup, if you have a Devil or Devil Hunter character, you can either choose to have yourself mill 3 or your opponent mills 3. So this card is very helpful depending on your deck state, both your deck state and the opponent's deck state. It's a matter of knowing how much climaxes you have in your waiting room, or vice versa with your opponent. So normally when I've played this card, I normally like to use it on my opponent to try to snipe out climaxes. Um, or you use this card, let's say if you're out of climaxes, you can use this to mill out 3 cards out of your deck. So that way, that's 3 less cards out of your deck, and you increase your chances to take less damage. So you can use it to mill 3 to get yourself to increase your chances of canceling, or you can use it to get yourself to refresh quicker, to get into your deck refresh faster, and be able to get to your climaxes as fast as you can, basically. So I can definitely say that's I have definitely have been able to use this card to mill 3 and be able to cancel whether it's the next card or the second to next card, and overall has been very helpful in my matchups. And the last level one that I play is the Honest Question Himeno. It's a 1,000 backup, which doesn't really matter much. The key thing about this card is it's an anti-change. So when you use its backup, you can discard 2 cards. If you do, choose your opponent's character that's a level higher than your opponent's level, and then you put it into the bottom of their deck. So this helps you get rid of early plays. This is also really good against cards like Ainz, because Ainz is is a very huge deck, and it pretty much also gets around its hexproof, since that doesn't go into effect until during pretty much the opponent's turn. So this gets rid of a lot of problem cards, and just really overall a very good card. All right, and then for level twos, there's not that many of them. I just play 1 copy of the new objective Denji. He is basically a Fumio. He's pay 1, discard 1 when you play him from your hand, pay the cost, and then if you do, your opponent chooses 1 climax in their waiting room, and then they have to return all their cards except that card that they chose, and then they return all those cards to their deck and they shuffle. So it's basically a decompression tool to be able to put more characters back in their deck to increase your chances of dealing damage, basically. And then his last effect is you can put him into your waiting room, and then when you do, uh, choose one of your opponent's characters. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the center stage. It can also be backstage, and you can also and then basically choose that character, and then they return it to their hand. So this is a good card to be able to it's really good against standby. So like you can have them, like, let's say they stand by at a level 3 assist, or like their level 3 finisher, like any standby target that they brought out during their turn, you can use this card to basically bounce it back. So you basically force them to have it into hard play and use up stock, basically. All right. Last level 2 that I play is the level 2 last cigarette Aki. So this is a free fresh counter. So when you use it, it's pay 2. When you do that, you return all cards from your waiting room to deck and then shuffle. So I will say this is probably one of my favorite cards in the deck, because I cannot emphasize how many times I have won games or saved myself with this card. Uh, like the many times I've used it and been able to pretty much put as many climaxes back in my deck as possible, and also avoiding a refresh is also very important as well, because by avoiding refresh point, it's almost like a pseudo heal. So like by avoiding it, you're not technically healing, but it's just that avoiding that damage makes it so that that's less damage you're taking, and it makes a world of a difference between you know being at like 3-5 and 3-6, and then you can save yourself from dying from refresh, or being prevented from being able to clock to draw to, if you need the clock to draw to get into a climax or something like that. But the many times that this card has saved me in a lot of games that I've played over the last 2 years is like insane. Like I absolutely love this card. It is definitely without a doubt an absolute MVP in this deck. All right. And then without further ado, the level threes. This is the main finisher, the level 3 Chainsaw Man. So he is first effect is when you have 3 or more other characters, he gets plus 2,000 power. He also heals when you play him from your hand. And his class combo is with the Blood Soak Declaration of War. So when he attacks, when you have that climax in your climax area, if you have 3 or more other characters, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And then this card gets the following ability until the end of the opponent's next turn. And that ability is pay 2, discard 2 cards. When you reverse your opponent's character, you pay the cost, and then when you do, deal 2 damage, and the character that you reverse goes to the top of your opponent's deck. So this card, I honestly think it's very underrated. I think it gets overlooked a lot because of the on reverse, but with the experience I have with this deck, honestly, this deck consistently reverses, especially if you play it right. Like so, I've had very little issues meeting the condition to reverse any characters. So basically, this card you want to maximize it as much as you can. So ideally, you want to have either double double copies of him, or be able to triple board him, because What's nice about his on reverse effect is not only the deal two, which is always good to have, but being able to shoot a character on top of their deck makes it so that even if they cancel the burn two, you just send that character to the top of their deck, and then you attack with another Chainsaw Man, and you guarantee their first burn one. So being able to stack their deck and guarantee that burn one is really nice. So depending on their damage at level three, you can easily confirm damage with this card at multiple copies. And in addition to with the off finisher trial deck Chainsaw Man. So so normally your end board is always gonna want to be two Chainsaw Man and one trial deck Chainsaw Man or triple Chainsaw Man. So that's what you're gonna try to achieve as much as you can. So overall, really love this finisher. It's very a lot of fun to play. Yeah, I could go on about how much I love this card. It's just honestly very great finisher. It gets the job done. Very overlooked in my personal opinion. All right. So here we have the early play power. So basically, to early play this card, you have to have four or more other devil or devil hunter characters. During your turn, if you have another devil character or animal character, this card gets 2,500 power and the ability on an ability pay one. If this card reverses a level 2 or higher battle opponent, pay the cost, and then if you do, choose a character or waiting room and add it back to your hand. This effect doesn't come up very often, but every now and then I have used it, so it's not a bad effect. When it comes up, it can be helpful, but not necessary to really use all the time. But it's also a healer as well. So this card I don't play too much. This card is more so a like nice to have card. Sometimes I do play it just to for the sake of healing and just to have something on board to push damage. So like it's more so like if you have it, cool, but it's not always necessary to have. So yeah, it's an okay card. All right. And next early play is the Makima. So to early play this card, this Makima, the level 0, has to be in your clock to early play this. So because of this early play condition, that's why you need to have 4 copies of this, because you want to make sure that you meet this early play condition as best as you can. Because this is basically the card that you obviously want to focus on, and obviously I mentioned it earlier, you don't really focus on the power. So this is when you play it from your hand, you basically take this climax card, the Hidden Strength. You can either choose to put it into your stock or add it to your hand. And then climax combo on attack, when you have this, reveal the top card. If that card is an event or a double or double hunter character, choose one of your opponent's characters, put it into a waiting room, and then this card gains 2,000 power. So this card is absolutely insane. Like I love this card for the fact that it's an amazing board breaker. You can target your opponent's back row. It's basically you pretty much when you play this, you can practically nuke your opponent's board. Because at level 2, what you want to do is play 2 Makimas, so that way when you're gonna do their combo, you basically go after their back row characters. So that way they have no back row characters. You guarantee uh you're gonna you're gonna basically reverse whatever character she's gonna be facing because she gets really huge during her attack. So you're gonna be reversing whatever's in front of Makima, and then most likely whatever the third character may be, or it might be an open lane. So pretty much you clear out their board with this, you force your opponent to having to reestablish their board 100%, so they end up basically using up most, if not their whole hand, and also force them in an awkward position. Because sometimes when you play Makima and you shoot their back row, you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to be shooting a level assist, a brainstormer of that sort, or even a standby target, etc. But pretty much, I have won a lot of games with this card, just pushing damage, in addition to also breaking the opponent's board and putting them in pretty much in a bad state where they have to basically build up their whole board all over again, and being able to having to reestablish whatever it is that their game plan was at that time. So yeah, I've had an insane amount of luck with this card, and as well as it's just great card overall for the fact that honestly, a lot of players are not really prepared for this card because most don't really expect it. Granted, not many people really play this deck. I'm pretty much probably one of the few only players that really plays this deck very consistently. So overall, just an amazing card. And then even in addition to that too, because she's able to get her climax back, worst case scenario, even if they anti-change this, you can always next turn try to get it back if you really want to, and then just do the combo again, and then basically you make it so that the anti-change kind of really didn't do that much against your Makima. So overall, yeah, no, like I've done so many insane things with this card. Like, oh, and another a really cool thing you can do with this card as well is you can use the Makima to add back the hidden strength climax, and you can use it to set up the climax swappers. You can actually have this set up the Makima climax swapper or the Aki climax swapper. So that's another thing that I have done in some matchups where if I needed to get the Chainsaw Man climax, I would play the Makima, get the hidden strength climax, so that way I'm able to use my climax swappers. So overall, just fantastic card. All right. Next is the Trial Deck Chainsaw Man. So when you play him from your hand, or you use, I don't really use the fusion effect. This is from the Trial Deck. If you use the act ability of Heart's Secret Denji, look at the top three cards of your deck, choose any, and choose one card among those three, put it to your hand, and dump the rest. So you do not have to show your opponent. So this is that effect is more so to be able to dig to try to get the Chainsaw Man climax. That's pretty much why I pretty much use that effect 9 times out of 10. And then the second effect is when this card reverses your opponent's character, you can pay one, discard a card. If you do, your opponent sends the bottom four cards of their deck to waiting room, and then deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the number of climaxes that were revealed of those bottom four cards. So this is basically the off finisher. This just helps you deal more damage in addition with the Chainsaw Man. So this is just more so if you don't have enough Chainsaw Mans to play, to do your climax combo, this helps you supplement and just adds an additional finisher to be able to push more damage essentially. So overall, this card has been very helpful, being able to be a an extender for your end board. So all right, and then the last level 3 that I play is one copy of the Himeno. When you play this card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's characters, return it to their hand. In addition to that, you can choose to discard a card, and if you do, you can basically bounce another character to their hand. And then one of the key effects, the second effect, which is one of the reasons why I play this card and why I love it, is when this card is on top of your deck, at the not top of the deck, sorry, at the beginning of your climax phase, if this is on top of your clock, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters, and then they level it down. So they have to choose a one level X or lower character in their waiting room, and then they basically exchange it with the character that you just chose. So this helps you get rid of problem cards, specifically with standby. So like if they have like a level 2 or level 3 that you're like hoping to get rid of, this card gets the job done. And then it has its niche applications with the first effect. I have done it every now and then. It helps out a lot to be able to bounce characters that could be a problem, whether if it's like they have bodyguard or great performance in English. Um, yeah, so every now and then the first effect comes up every once in a while. It can be helpful, but I mostly love it for the alarm effect. The alarm effect has helped me out immensely a lot to get rid of problem cards depending on the matchup. So, all right, and then obviously you play 4 copies of the Fiend's Everyday Life, and then I split 2 between the Blood-Soaked Declaration of War and the 2 Hidden Strength Climax. So that's pretty much the deck profile. Um, so the biggest highlight with this that I forgot to mention earlier with this deck profile is that I did get top 8 with this deck at Springfield 2024 for White Plains, New York. Um, did absolutely fantastic with this deck. I went 4-2, no 5-2. Sorry, I went 5-2 because I went in Swiss. I was 5-1. I only lost my final match against Mori Calliope Gura, and then I lost my top 8 match against the Aki deck at that time when it was at full power. So I went 5-2 overall. Deck was fantastic. It's still still works great overall. Uh I still do really well with this deck very consistently with locals and as well as in the regional level, both with BCS and as well as with Summerfest and Springfest. So I absolutely love this deck. With this deck, there's a lot of moving parts, I will say. So this deck has a little bit of a learning curve. It does take a bit to kind of get into, but once you have this deck figured out and you get that deck tempo down to the T, like this deck is absolutely a force to be reckoned with. So this deck is pretty much at this point pretty much my signature deck. I'm pretty much well known for this deck. Um, Go also check out base damage. He's I think he's done a breakdown of this deck. He has one of his podcast episodes. He's done a breakdown of this deck as well. Um, I'll probably provide a link for that. But overall, that's pretty much the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, just leave a comment, or if you want to hit me up, I go by my Discord username is Desmond17. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm on I am in the I'm trying to think of the name of it. I am in the Weiss Schwarz community Discord. Forgot the name of it, but I am in that main global Weiss Schwarz Discord channel. But I'm also in the base damage Discord. So yeah, if you want to hit me up and have questions or are very curious about this deck, just let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much it.